Let's shift gears and let's talk rugby, our Festas. Yes. And of course, Kenya Cup took a break, but let's look at the Enterprise Cup. Mm-hmm. And the same suspects, Kabras and KCB are through to the semis after winning their respective matches. And of course, OGH really had a very good outing. I think 3 tries for himself to help the Bankers win. But what do you make of that weekend action?
I think after KCB qualified for the semis, they're now going to meet Kabras. Mm-hmm. So, and also Kabras, we know it's a very formidable side when it comes to rugby.
Until they beat Harlequins.
Yes. And I'm expecting when KCB meet Kabras, it is going to be an epic match.
Actually, that's a final before final.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Yes. It is going to be a final before final. But I think that weekend, or in this Enterprise Cup, there are so many challenges. Especially, we are seeing teams giving a lot of walkovers.
Yeah.
We saw Menengai Oilers qualified after their opponents did not honor the match.
His favorite Pirates.
South Coast Pirate, yeah. You know, I wanted this team machinery to rise up. Yeah, yes. Sure.
Yeah, and also we saw there's another team also, I'm forgetting its name.
Homeboys.
Yes, Homeboys also did not honor the fixture. So I think that is the challenge Rugby Enterprise Cup is facing this season. And also, this is the first time we are having Enterprise Cup and Kenya Cup running at the same time. The last time was back in 2019-2020 season. So I think the only undoing is teams have not been able, majority of the teams are facing financial constraint.
Actually, there's a challenge, Shitera. The cash flow within these clubs is a major challenge. And I think it's across board, be it football, be it athletics, there is a major financial short gap. And of course, not to take anything away from golf, we are having Magical Kenya Open coming up shortly. And the corporates are really rolling up their sleeves. This morning, I know of a corporate that's going to commit millions of shillings into the tee-off. So look at it. People want to put their money in golf. I call it a rich kids game. But rugby, once somebody said rugby is played by thugs, but watched by gentlemen. Football is played by gentlemen and watched by thugs. It's Baba. What do you make of this and how do you change this
I think it's so unfortunate because at the end of the day, it will be Kabras versus KCB. I really loved how Harlequins pushed shockwaves down Kabras' nerves in the first half, only to recover in the second half to book that slot in the semi-final to face KCB. KCB are coming up very well. They have been very consistent. And face off with Kabras, I think that will be a final before the final. But in that month of March, remember, I think on March 8th,
yeah, they still have to face each other.
They'll face each other in the Kenya Cup.
And I could predict who's going to win this. Before we go on action.
Again, before the semi-final, remember, in the Kenya Cup, Kabras will also face Harlequins. And I pray that the competition they really gave Kabras in the Enterprise Cup, they will revive it in the encounter in the Kenya Cup. All in all, I think Harlequins is the only team that is really showing some pressure despite the financial constraints. And we will urge the corporates because, you see, I think why they come into Magical Kenya, it's a one-off event.
For the event.
It's a 4-day event.
Yeah.
So to them, I think they'll maximize on the publicity and what comes out of. They also know that you also give too much publicity to that Magical Kenya. That's why they. So I will also urge all stakeholders to support what we are calling the sports that is played by.
The common man.
The one you say the inachezwa na tags.
I can see during when the sevens were traveling, there was a lot of corporates that were coming in because I saw corporates and the good money that was given in. So I hope Sasha, I know Sasha Mtai, the president of rugby, is watching this. If he can go back so that he can help all these teams that are giving walkovers, because the only thing they're lacking is maybe that transport money. money, or maybe the staying place to stay, maybe if they want to travel. So for me, I think Sasha should do something, because he came here and promised that he's going to do something. He's going to bring in money, and I hope if he's watching this, the walkovers, I think I've had them this season, because the other seasons I've not seen any walkovers from the rugby teams. So I hope Sasha will do something.
And Brenda, Shitera talked of Magical Kenya getting a lot of publicity, but on the contrary, I think leagues, because these matches are played week in, week out, they're on the print media, they're on broadcast media. KPL, for instance, I think commands a lot of airtime across the board, and even Kenya Cup or rugby. You look at a team sport like basketball, but why are people not pumping money into these sports?
Management issues, definitely, because once you run down a sport, once there's no proper management, it means fans also stop going to the stadium. So you'd want to say corporates want to come in and pump in money because Magical Kenya, oh, it's just 4 days, but they're finding some value. So it's time that our clubs also attach value to the sport itself, because yes, KPL is big. KPL is bigger than, I think, any other league locally, but then it is not attracting the right people, because corporates would not just give. What are they getting? What is the return on investment for them? Because as long as there are no fans in the stadium, as long as there is no stadium for these fans to go and feel, what visibility are they going to get? This football is not on TV. So what is the visibility that they are going to get?
Not even on radio.
But it's not on radio. It's not
anywhere. But rugby has fans.
Yeah, it has
KCB has fans. Kabras has fans.
But where?
TV.
But I know Zita is young. You remember the days we could feel the KRU grounds?
Yes, RFUA.
Bring those days back.
But you know now it depends. It depends where the finals are being played. Last time it was played in Kabras, in Kakamega. The fans were there.
We've had traveling fans. We've had traveling fans for the longest. I'd want to use an example of football. When Nyayo Stadium was open, you were sure you'd find fans in the stadium on a Wednesday for floodlights. So if you're a sponsor, you're sure the brand visibility is always there.
Actually,
if you're moving to Mumias, they will move with you. If you're moving to, even if they're not traveling, per se, even, okay, let's get back to rugby. When the Sevens used to be a hit, and you know that people are going to Dallas Sevens, Kabeberi and all this, and you'd find people traveling.
So that's again, my favorite tournament.
It's about...
And the notorious one was Masaku.
Yeah, the Masaku. And the stories that would come out of it. So then I think it's important that management is proper, but let all stakeholders play their role, because you're not also inviting corporates to come in and they're not going to find their return on investment.
Shifting gears, Zita, I come to you real quick on Odemba, your good friend Beldin, and she's named a squad for WAFCON. That's the Women African Cup of Nations, sort